Hello, welcome to week 4 of the Slowpoke Society League. It's me and just Machete. I'm not gonna dox him again, even though he's been doxed 3 times already.
What do you mean? I
Um,
haven't been doxxed at all. What are you talking about?
yeah,
Anyway,
exactly. So, it's just me, PG, and Machete today, and we're just gonna go through our week 4 battles. I started with the standings, so y'all can see how things are shaping up. Um, And we're also going to go through Yossi and Grovile from last week.
yeah, we said we would do it last week, and we did some little predictions there. So I figured we would start with that battle, then we would make our way to the week four battles, and then talk about the week four pick'ems for a quick bit, just to see, figure things out. Nothing too crazy, just like our general thoughts and the ideas going into it. No one's done their battles yet for week four. I mean, week five. My apologies. Very low, very tired, very low energy, very chill tonight. We're gonna try our best to power through this. But yeah, let's start with getting that battle going. All right. So these were the teams that each person bought. We got the Levani, Jirachi, Gastro, Armarouge, Great Tusk, and Cresselia, and then the Glamora, Sharpedo, Articuno, Cinderace, Hydreigon, and Lele. You can hit play whenever, by the way.
Gamora
You
is
know,
a
pretty sta-
classic lead. Livani, unfortunately, maybe not the best lead into a Glamora, just because
not the best
it's,
lead into a
yeah,
Glamora at
typing
all, but
wise, it loses to both both types, and so it's like this. If it does anything offensive, Livani kind of just folds, unless it's also sashed. So
yeah, I mean, it could be just be lead Levani, you know?
getting
You
webs
click
up,
that sticky web. Well, it doesn't opt for the sticky web, and we
you
just
can
see the sludge
switch.
bomb go off. So good play on Yossi's part immediately, getting off a nice Iron Head that will trigger the toxic debris, obviously.
Good
A
flinch.
flinch right out of the gate, very unfortunate. Cinderace does come out here in response to that. Iron Head doing 20% is not the worst thing ever. Armarouge getting that
That would
nice.
tell Yossi if it's defensive or not. I don't know off the top of my head. Resisted and like you could probably have figured out like the Jirachi set. So, um,
Yeah, definitely.
if we were actually doing calcs during some of these fights, we'd be able to figure out some good information just on those couple of plays there about both players' teams. So, interesting that the Jirachi is not uh, stealth rock because I think it could be a rocker if she really wanted it to. Um, Goes for the Iron Head though, which is always a classic because you can always flinch lock your way
Yep.
to victory with the Jirachi.
Jirachi is one of the most annoying mons of all time, and we get to see an interesting play on Grovile's right here, clicking nasty plot in front of the Armor Rouge after seeing the Aura Sphere. He did say after the battle he did not realize Armor Rouge got Aura Sphere, which is fair. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard with some of these newer Gen 9 mons to see what they get. Toxic was taken out of the game, and then when they reintroduced it as a TM in the DLC, Belly Bolt got it. A very weird pick,
It's
but
a
we do
frog.
see the Hydrake. Yeah, we do see the.
Bellybolt's a frog. Why wouldn't it get
He is
it?
a. Well, not all
Frogs are
frogs are.
poisonous.
Not
Some
all of
are.
them. Not all of them.
So
Anyway,
he's a frog. That makes sense. He gets
we do see
toxic.
the we do see the Hydragon go down to the Armor
The
Rouge.
the
That
speed
weak
boost
armor.
earlier is big. Like
Yeah,
let me see. Was that a switch? Did she got Armorouge in on the U turn, which was really
yeah,
nice. Like that got
really
the
big.
speed boost without taking too much damage because it is neutral with the fire typing. So getting that speed
Yeah,
boost that was big into the Hydreigon, and now it's gonna be faster than this Lele as well. Um, Even with Scarf, just because it's a 2 times boost. So
yeah, it's a
uh,
really big boost.
it's getting some damage off no matter what here. So this
You
weak
know what?
armor is always big.
Yeah, one of my favorite sets to run is weak armor Rule Edge with Endure weakness policy. So you can just figure it out from there. So we do see the armor does go down to Lele, not before Lele takes a massive amount of damage, almost 60%. We do see the leftovers on it. So it is
Leftovers
more
is
of a
interesting because Lele tends to be a little more offensive.
yeah,
So this play, I mean, helping with the longevity if it's gonna plan to sit on the field for a while, which it can if it can threaten a lot of things. So
yeah. Which into this team, the only real thing it does threaten is the Tusk, but we've only seen the Moonblast. We don't know what the other three moves are.
I mean, threaten specifically, it's still a Lele with Psychic Surge. So it's
That's very
gonna
true.
It does. It's not going to hit through the Jirachi very hard, but like it's still going to hit Gastrodon for
I
neutral very well, and Cresselia with Moonblast for okay, and Leavanny. I mean,
yeah,
Gastrodon it can be pretty tanky, but we've
Tapu
seen the
Lele is one of those.
leftovers. That just means it's not spec, so it's not going to get
Yeah,
hit as
that's
hard.
yeah. Jirachi does come out. Glamora does come out. I think this is a sack here. Yeah,
It
sack here
is
on
a
the
sack.
Glamora.
Gets
You
up
get up the
that
second
that
layer.
toxic debris.
Ace comes out. Jirachi switch into the Gastrodon. Obvious play here. Powerball does come out. Still does 30, which and with the toxic
Does a
spikes,
lot. I think
this
it's
thing is this thing
Gastrodon.
is
It's
very
taken a
chipped
lot.
down.
I think it's got to be some sort of Spadef Gastrodon. I don't know
Yeah,
how because it's pretty bulky, so it's doing
yeah.
more
We
than
got
I
the
would
recover for
expect.
longevity. I think here was one of those points where I was like, I wish you clicked protect here, Grovyle, just to get that speed boost right out of the gate. Obviously,
And
damage there is
get
always
that
good.
extra toxic turn because toxic turns on this Gastrodon are big just because it can regen
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff like that. So
eventually the recovery will outpace apologies, the toxic will outpace the recovery.
and
Uh,
that crunch I think would have killed if he had waited another turn before
Yeah, if
using
he got,
crunch.
I think if he waited the turn and got the speed boost, Mega, and then clicked Crunch, it would have obviously killed. But Gastrodon does go down here. Shadow Ball from the Articuno, definitely for the Jirachi. Definitely expected the Jirachi at a few points, and another Shadow Ball I think probably would have killed. I don't know. I think the switch here wasn't
I
needed
think
per
so
se
too.
because
Was it faster? It might not
yeah,
have
the
been
Articuno
faster,
was
is what he was
there.
worried about. So maybe, I mean, getting flinch locked.
Yeah, flinch
Yeah,
shots
because
would
it
be
was
very annoying.
faster. So
And
Shadow Ball would
the
have killed there, though.
yeah,
No,
Shadow Ball
well,
definitely would have.
it may have been a roll too, because it did 52, and Jirachi was at. Was it at 54? Okay, wait, let's go back a turn.
It was at full, and then it got knocked down to
Well, it
48. Yeah,
gets
it would have killed.
52. It's
It
got
would have killed.
leftovers.
Yeah.
It's a
It,
roll to
it
kill,
probably
if anything.
yeah, definitely. However, the Articuno is also very low. I guess yeah, you do have to worry about speed in that situation. I didn't realize Galarian Articuno was that slow in regards to Jirachi. It's still pretty
It's
fast at
still
317,
faster.
but
We've seen it move before Jirachi, so it's faster than the Jirachi. The issue
oh, okay.
is it
Yeah.
could. I mean, technically a speed tie is possible, but we've seen this Jirachi move second, so it is slower. But we just saw Shadow Ball do 52 versus seeing 54 on the screen. It's at the very least a roll to kill. Don't know if he calced that, but this was a it could have just not killed. I don't know how high of a roll 52 is, but I'm that switch was not a bad idea. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Although it is
Sacking
a
second
sack, so
is definitely a
losing
sack.
mons left and right. Jirachi's doing some
It's,
work.
it's definitely a rough situation, and then the Sharpedo does come out, does take care of the
No speed
Jirachi, which is
boost here
good.
is interesting. I mean, makes some
He can't
sense.
get I mean, he can't get the speed boost because of the Mega, which is
Well, that's what I'm
unfortunate.
saying. He didn't. He
Yeah.
if he was
Lunge coming out from the
faster
Leavanny, and
already, he could have probably killed it without megaing and got the speed boost for free. But I don't know.
yeah, I think that's like the one downside from Sharpedo is you only really have three moves if you run the Protect to get the speed boost. The Pyro Ball into the Leavanny was interesting. You do see two lunges come out, which that is you see him in the chat there. That is a pigeon build because he is lunge's biggest supporter, always will be. We do see Sucker Punch come out here towards the end. Lunge super effective, doesn't really
Gets
matter.
the
Less
webs
than
up
recent.
too, which is
Yeah,
also
late game
important
webs is
because
big.
Sharpedo is now probably slower than Tusk, just because it doesn't have
Yeah,
any speed boost.
Ice Spinner from the Tusk does come out,
Oh, how
which
fast they both were.
it's
That's
not.
interesting.
I believe this Tusk was a Scarf Tusk.
That would make sense because I was gonna say I would expect Articuno to be full speed there. So
Yeah, Tusk. That was a Scarf Tusk.
I mean,
Un,
an ice spinner makes sense. I mean, not that it
yeah,
wasn't gonna kill with anything anyway, but
yeah, it's not a rough loss for Grovyle, but it's still a loss. UFC wins again. At this point, a three-game winning streak. We will talk more about that later. And
it's
yeah,
not
that was
four. She
the.
didn't win every time. Or am I misremembering?
We're
Hold on,
getting
let's
into
go
week
back to the
four
done.
PG. We're
Oh,
going
right,
back
right,
into.
right,
I was saving that for later.
right. It's okay.
You
Spoilers.
silly boy. You
I forget what
silly
week we're
boy.
on.
It's fine. All right. But yeah, so now we move into week four now. The first battle of the week was Deadlocked versus Gemiosini. Pretty good teams, in my opinion, into both. I really like the Iron Bundle here. Iron Bundle kind of goes crazy.
Iron Bundle always goes crazy. I mean, I love the bring. You almost never, if you have Iron Bundle, you never don't bring it. But hey, it's I've liked how Jimmy Orsini has used it this season.
Yeah. All right, we can get into the battle now. Uh, Deadlocked,
Like
Tinglu, Tinkaton.
he likes to lead it, which honestly, having I used Iron Bundle in a previous season. I really liked the lead set because you can bring taunt on it, so it actually makes it a very scary lead because you can prevent like hazards from going up early, while also like having like that 408 speed tier is insane. So like
Definitely.
you can pretty much taunt a lot of things, or you can threaten a freeze dry, a blizzard, or a hydro pump, all of which are scary. So I really like the bundle
Definitely.
lead here.
And I do
Um,
believe in this situation, Bundle was always going to be the fastest thing in this matchup. So Bundle was for sure a definite bring. The fastest thing on Deadlock's team is what is out in front of the Bundle at the moment. So it's this thing has to be Scarf to outspeed it. And even then, it's probably not going to be doing too much.
he probably doesn't. You probably don't run Scarf on a Cyclozar
Oh no.
unless you specifically need the speed. It's
Yeah.
unlikely, and like yeah, this thing just needs to hit harder. So the switch into Slow King makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Ice Beam does
Um,
come out. Obvious play,
that's a
30
lot of
damage though.
damage. 30
That
damage
is
on a Slow King G from a bundle.
yeah,
It's
definitely
impressive.
choice specs. Definitely choice specs. We do see the Bastiodon does come out here.
Gets that
Tinglu,
future sight up is good because it threatens.
yeah,
It really doesn't threaten anybody too much, but it kind of does force Jemmy Osini to want to go into Absol,
yeah.
or even. I mean, Bastiodon doesn't love taking special hits, so
It still has a ridiculous special defense stat.
yeah,
All right, spikes do go up. Well, we do see the misplay here. The future sight does come out. It does do a massive amount of damage to bundle. A little bit of a
yeah.
misplay on Jimio's
Unfortunately, that
part.
was not the switch to get. I understand the thinking because this bundle does threaten Tinglu, but keeping in mind those future sight turns are big.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. When you see future sight, you just gotta hope and pray. Hydro
because
Pump does a lot
Bundle has
into
a lot of like physical defense. It doesn't have so much
yeah,
special defense. So
yeah.
that's
We
a
do see
good
flame.
flamethrower come out there.
Yeah, very good, very good. Deadlocked is probably one of the scariest people to fight in this season so far.
Flamethrower threatens everyone pretty well, except for Latios. So I like that flamethrower a lot, just because it's like he's probably not going to bring out Latios in front of a Slow King G. So that flamethrower was very free there.
Yeah, definitely. U-turn does come out, does get a crit, but the unfortunate static. That's
Oh,
just
the
bad luck.
paralyze. It's what Zapdos does.
Yeah, we do see the Latias come out here. We do see a reflect get set up, which is pretty good. A lot of
It's interesting. We'll see what he clicks there. I mean, getting it up to boost the already insane physical defense.
yeah, like
Um,
clicking iron defense. So an
like
earthquake
no
into this thing's not gonna do that much,
physical.
but
Even like
does
a
switch here
4x is
probably.
all of a sudden
Yeah,
doing neutral damage.
yeah. Discharge does go off. Does get a
A
para. This is a very
paralyze, a very lucky paralyze luck here, even with a
yeah,
Zapdos. I mean, Zapdos likes to paralyze things, but keep in mind both static and discharge are 1/3, and he got him on the first try every time. So
yeah.
it's
Very
it's kind of
unfortunate.
lucky.
Sadly, the Gemio does get the one body press para, which is unfortunate. Not enough
Yeah,
to get the
that would
Zapdos
have
out. And then
been
another one here against the Tinglu, which that would have been big.
that would have hit the
Potential,
yep
very,
would have
very
hit the
much so
Tinglu.
crippling. Crippling the
Good
Tinglu.
switch
Good play
to
here into the
Corviknight.
Corviknight. Zapdos does come out. We do see the Roost come off. We do get some more HP on the Corv. It being paired does
He
suck.
needs to keep that thing healthy.
Yeah, we
I
do
mean,
see the
keeping it
Lottie come
healthy is
out.
good for switching into Tinglu.
Yeah, defog here to get rid of all the hazards that were set up. Volt switching out with the Zap into the Tinkaton.
Corviknight has a hard time in this match. Rough time
Rocks
to
do
be a
come back out.
Corviknight against Flamethrower, Slowking G, and
Yeah,
Zapdos and Arcanine Hisui. And
yeah, we
even
do get,
Tinglu can threaten with a Ruination. The
yeah,
Encore there is
unfortunately,
big.
yeah, unfortunately, this gave me flashbacks watching this live. Just the encore Tinkaton, man. You don't expect that little thing to have so much speed, and it just does.
Well, I mean, also Corviknight's paralyzed.
Yeah, but even then,
Um,
Corviknight doesn't naturally outspeed.
Staying
Uh,
in with the iron defense, I gotta say, I don't know that I'm a huge fan. I
it,
understand the
I,
thinking, because, like, what else is
yeah,
Tinkaton gonna do? But, like,
yeah,
you're
healing,
trapped in a
healing wish
loop.
here,
Healing Wish is
healing wish here to get
interesting.
Healing Wish to get the bundle back up to full.
I like that.
We were talking about that play and helping him for a team prep that did help him with his team sub. And kind of a bit of a spoiler, but when the team does kind of like not perform to expectations and I help someone like build a team, it kind of feels like I also lost in a sense. And I feel bad because it's like, damn, like I kind of like made them lose because I just didn't, yeah. Miss on the
Play
play
rough.
rough, very
Unfortunate.
unfortunate. It's just continuing to show that Jimio has had very bad luck. Then a crit into the Bastion, which that would not have done as much if it was just a standard vault. Cut that in half, 14%. Yeah, that would have been fine. You get that back with
It's
leftovers.
not half. It's 1.5 times as much now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then sadly, Tinglu just kind of clicks Whirlwind here into most of Jemio's team.
The Iron Head. Was the Iron Head? I don't know that Iron Head hits anybody on this team. I think I would have liked to see because Body
I
Press
think
always does. I guess it hits Slowking
I
G
think the
better.
I think the Ironhead might have been coverage for
The
the
only
Mega
thing it
Diancie if it
hits,
came.
I mean, yes. I'm not. I'm just saying, clicking it that turn. Like once you see there is no
Yeah,
Mega DNC, like Body
I think
Press
I
hits
think
everything for at least neutral except for Slow King G, and he hasn't been bringing Slow King G in on this. Like I would have Body Press. Like
yeah,
even if you're expecting this thing to die, um, if you have a free turn in front of a Ting Lu, like if he stays in, the Body Press is going to do more, and if he switches out, the Body Press, I guess also Zapdos, but Ironhead does less to Zapdos. Or no, Ironhead might do more, but like not much more. Like if a Zapdos comes in, then it's sad either way. So
yeah,
I would have liked either a Stealth Rock to try to get some momentum with a free turn that he gives you, or a Body Press come out there.
yeah. It's also very rough with that para because it's a 1 in 25 chance to just not do anything.
Yeah,
And then we do see the third layer spikes. Tinglu could just click Whirlwind here on everything,
the Ironhead
which it
flinch.
does.
I understand. You're kind of you're hoping for 20% though, which
Yeah,
is sad. Fortunate the
yeah.
Hydro
Hydro
Pump
Pump
missed
miss,
too.
which is which sucks so much because all things considered, I don't know if it would have survived. You know, it could have potentially gotten two hydro pumps out, instead only got the one. Flamethrower just kind of goes crazy here. Uh, the Absol coming out now was a bit unfortunate. Probably should have came out a bit earlier in the match, but you live and learn. We're all doing this for fun at the end of the day. We're learning.
He needed this
This is
thing because Mega Absol gets Magic Bounce, and you see all the hazards
yeah,
on Gem's side. I would have liked to see
yeah,
this thing like either coming out after Bundle for a second lead. Well, I think he had Zapdos in. I forget, but I would have liked to see it come out earlier to try to because you just need the Mega off to get that Magic Bounce up, and then anytime Ting Lu is out, you send this thing out and bounce those hazards back.
definitely. We do see Toxic come out here. I guess kind of just like
Deadlock
it.
definitely had some good positioning
Yeah,
this match though, which made that difficult. So I understand why it
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. And when you have Ogre Pond, it's like you get this massive, powerful Pokemon, and for exchange of you can't hold an item, so you're taking 50%
Breaking swipe,
breaking.
I like that.
Yeah,
And
and then so another 6-0 in the books, and Deadlocked even says himself, "Bit lucky on my end." Deadlock got very
definitely
lucky that match.
some very good luck, but also some very good positioning. Like
Definitely very good
uh,
positioning, very good prep.
the luck probably made it a 6-0, but Deadlock's played this match very well.
Definitely,
Not to take away from walked away for a second. Not to take away from Jemmy Ossini's match, because there were definitely some good clicks on that side too. But yeah,
definitely. I
good
mean,
match.
all things considered, Jimio is currently 0-4. This is his first league since me and him did one years and years ago, back in like Gen 7. So, I mean, he's making good plays. He's doing good things, and I hope that we continue to see him grow and evolve throughout this league. And once we do season two, whenever we decide to do season two, and he decides to sign up again, if he just chooses to sign up again, we see him do even better. We just continue to see him grow because that's always the best part about draft is watching people grow. All right, next up, we got Eon versus Nomad. Eon is currently undefeated at this point, and I do believe Nomad had one win, two losses under his belt at this point. So very important match for Nomad. Very much so important for him. Good teams on both ends. We've seen the power of that Zamazenta at this point. That thing is scary. And now Eon Seam is even scarier now with a Lando incarnate, which we all know what that mod does.
Eon's kind of becoming OU incarnate part
It
two.
definitely OU incarnate.
But he's
You know,
playing very well. He's using the mons that he's picked up to really do some very good damage. So been loving
definitely,
watching his matches all season. Good start.
definitely. Especially since we started this with saying Nomad had like the best team on paper, and then
I'll let this turn. Oh, let's go.
yeah,
Let's
no, but keep playing while we're talking.
Well,
It's
I want
fine.
to let's talk about these
Oh yeah,
leads. So I like the
yeah,
Heat Ran lead. The
yeah.
Heat Ran lead is
Heat run is
interesting because
good.
it gets rocks and everything. So like if you're bringing it as a lead, it's most likely got rocks and then a bunch of other stuff, which is why this Valiant lead is crazy to me. I kind
Yeah,
of
this is a
love
very
it.
crazy lead. It is. I love it
It
too,
does
but it's
well into
also
all of these other Pokemon, honestly. So depending on what Nomad clicks here, like this is a very scary lead. Now, no booster indicates most likely. I would expect specs, maybe scarf, but
specs.
probably specs, which means
Specs
this
are
thing is going to
banned.
hit hard. Yeah,
Could be banned.
could be banned. I wouldn't expect the ban, but I could definitely see it. I mean, yeah. So
I mean, we'll find out. Get the minus attack. We get Calm
Calm
Mind.
Mind
So
indicates it's not that. So now I'm thinking,
yeah,
is this heavy duty boots? Is this expert belt? It's a crazy click here.
definitely very crazy. Moonblast
Love the
does come off one
Moonblast.
shots.
Yep.
Absolutely one shots.
Now this is the matchup why you want like booster energy as opposed to what I'm assuming is expert belt. Um, is because Zamazenta is faster. So by not running that booster energy, you're slower than Zamazenta. And at this point, if you don't know Zamazenta has heavy slam and can counter your Valiant, um, yeah, it's
Is
real sad.
Zamazenta,
And then that's exactly what
Zamazenta
we see. It's just threatening.
exactly what we
It just
see.
takes that, which is a real shame because this Iron Valiant does very well into this team. Means
Definitely.
maybe he needed another Zamazenta answer, like maybe bringing out Golden Go there, or even like Volcarona if you've got like Flame Body or something if you're running it bulky. So I would have liked to see
Yeah,
that too, just because like preserving your Valiant against this team, especially with the set you have, seems like it could have been a better
a
play.
game
But
changer.
I understand. I mean, you don't know if he brought heavy slam or whatever, so it's the risk versus reward.
Definitely is risk versus reward. Zamazenta does come out here. We get to see a trick,
I
the
like the
lagging
trick,
tail.
which was interesting. I saw that and I was like,
I
man, it's
love I
crazy.
lo I love plays like that, like you wouldn't believe.
Fortunately,
Fortunately,
it
Golden
seems
Goat does come down
offensive.
here. It
Yeah,
connects a Focus Blast and does massive damage. That Heatran is always going last now. The Imprisoned here, probably meant for the Heatran
definitely
to
meant for
make
the
sure it can't
Heatran. I'm
get
guessing
rocked.
this has rocks up.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, catches the Samurott instead though, and stays in on the
yeah,
Samurott. Gotta say, don't know that I'm a would have liked to see something else. I guess you don't have as many switch-ins now. This team,
yeah.
see, once you let that Valiant die, all of a sudden Samurott Hisui is kind of crazy. I mean, Serena, I guess, but it doesn't resist dark.
Yeah, we do see that it's an AV Samurai, which that's something I would run quite a bit. So that's always fun to see. Bug Buzz does come off from the
Comes
Volk,
out,
does
gets a
one
kill.
shot it.
The air
We do see
slash
an
comes
air
out.
slash.
Makes sense. Quiver
We do
dance
see a
again makes
yeah, we
sense.
do
You get a turn doing stuff. Unfortunately, this Volcarona wasn't carrying anything to hit the Salamence, so I'm really not the biggest fan of the Quiver dance in front of it because
I don't think it would has anything that would have hit it that I could think of off the top of my head.
uh,
It just gets fire. Like I could think of like
doesn't that get
Giga
like
Drain. I could
power
think of
gem?
Fiery Dance.
I mean,
Does it
what
get
it's
power?
normally gets. I don't know what
Let
coverage it
me let
gets
me.
other than that.
I will check for you.
I mean,
Volcarona.
usually in OU you just Terra it, but since we can't Terra Volk, we don't get its usual cover drop, and so
We
since
do
it
not.
doesn't really get anything to kill through the Salamance, I think you had to. I mean, you don't have a whole lot of options at this point because he's kind of taken out a lot of your backbone here. So I understand the Quiver Dance, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do against that. You don't really have a air slash switch in.
Yeah, it seems in this situation that the only real coverage you get is physical coverage, like Poison Jab, Wild Charge, things like that. So definitely, definitely It was just kind of clicking and seeing how much damage you could get out. Do you
Thousand
see the
arrows, and it's
Yeah,
faster.
Terraground, Zygarde
Another
Dog, very good.
life orb into life orb.
Yeah,
Um,
Ice Fang does come
Unfortunately,
out.
the Zamazenta is just the fastest thing on the field. That's
Yeah,
downside of the lack of booster energy, and
Power
yeah,
Whip does an insane amount here. And Zamazenta just proving once again that it's like very scary bond,
it's
definitely
fast
undervalued.
and it's bulky
Definitely.
and it hits hard.
It hits like a truck. But yeah, we get a nice 3-0 for Eon. Um, I think overall it just kind of came down to prep on both sides. Zamazenta having Heavy Slam was big. Ice Fang again for the dog. Uh, can you hover over it and see what I can see what its other moves are? If it didn't
He
show
just
any.
knew
Okay.
Ice Fang.
Yeah, it probably had like body press and something else. I wonder if this was an AV one.
I don't know. I have to
It could have
ask.
been. We have no idea. We'll never know. Anyway. All right, so that was Eon versus Nomad. Next up on the chopping block, we got me versus Grovile. A little bit of lore here, a little bit of history. Me and Grovile go back a ways, and this is our, I believe, our third draft battle against each other in all the time we've known each other and have done draft together. And the matchup is currently a 2-0, and I was trying to hope to keep that streak going, but also deep down I was rooting for him, you know. His team is This team was definitely interesting. I like the Masquerain. I like the Aloe. I like the Lele. The Cinderace goes crazy because it's a fucking Cinderace. Pardon my French. Sceptile and Burden strategies with the Tapu Lele, the Sharpedo as well for just being fast and annoying. Very good, but I think I did a very good job with my prep this week into this battle. If you want to hit play on this now.
So the masquerade and this all makes sense with webs versus your. I like Tornadus as a lead with Regenerator as a fast pivot. You can very easily switch into something that can take a hit from their other lead, or you have defog as well, or a possible taunt. So like the
Definitely.
Tornadus lead, and I think it does beat this masquerade lead. So it's good.
Definitely does, and I do believe I clicked an attack here. Yeah, I clicked Hurricane here, just in case he decided to stay in and get sticky webs up. Maybe it was Sash in my mind. I clicked Toxic on the Aloe, just to make sure that
Very
thing is on the
nice.
timer. The Sharpedo does come out. I fear the Ice Fang, so I go Thorn. I guess he expected me to attack there, but I did not.
I mean, either way, the protect was pretty safe. I mean, you just getting that
Yeah,
speed
Protect was
boost is
safe.
nice.
Yeah, Hidden Power Fire definitely comes out from this thing, so that was a very good prep. But in return, I get to click a nice Gyro Ball into Lele, which is a threat gone because at a certain point, Lele could just kind of go crazy
I
into
didn't
the
know it was
team.
that much faster that I was gonna kill. That's crazy to me. I was not expecting that kill there on the
Yeah,
Lele.
I mean, it depends on speed, and I had the like min speed, I think, I believe. All right, defog does come off, which does get rid of my rock and webs, and it also gets rid of his terrain, which is interesting in my opinion because any priority I have can now is free to go. And now we have my boy Iron Hands. I love this mod. I'm glad I drafted it.
Also, no
I bought the
terrain means that his
Lumberry.
Sceptile can't get
Yeah,
Unburden activated.
yeah, no unburden. Now, if you could pause real quick, I want to talk about my hands thinking real quick. So the Iron Hands going into this, my idea was I do not want this thing to get burned because if it gets burned, the whole plan with it is ruined. And you saw I clicked Iron Defense there. I'll just say the rest of the set right now. It is Drain Punch, Thunder Punch, Swords Dance, Iron Defense. The idea was to get bulky, get strong, and then just go crazy. But a burn would destroy all of that. Him clicking Toxic here was kind of like a mind shock to me in the sense that thank God I bought a Lumberry because the Lumberry was just in case Cinderace clicked Pyro Ball and I got burned. Because the last thing this Iron Hands need was a burn. The match would have went differently because I lose one of my main
Can
physical
Pyro Ball
attacking
burn?
threats. I believe it can. Can Pyro Ball burn? I think it does. Pyro Ball.
It does have a 10% chance to burn.
Yeah.
I guess
So
I
I bought the
usually just
Lumberry.
see the Wisp.
Yeah, that's why I bought Lumberry. It getting burned on the Toxic is also good because it's a good scout, which is why I switched into the Ferrothorn here, because it's like I don't want this thing Toxic either, because it also puts it on the clock, but in a different way. So you get play again. I just want to talk about the Iron Hands, because I was very happy with how Iron Hands performed in this game. I do get my little Ferrothorn back out again. Ferrothorn was proving to be one of the most annoying mons ever exist in this game. I do get the Leech Seed off, get that double heal. Just watching Aloe slowly and slowly lose health. He does switch. I get my rocks up expecting to switch. Ace gets back up to full, which I'm not a big fan of, but there's not really too much I could do. I get my Tauros Blaze out. Get that nice Intimidate, which I love Tauros Blaze as well. It's been doing really good for me. Court Change does come off, which isn't a big deal for me. I prepared for that. And click CC, which is good for me. It would have killed Cinderace anyway, but it being normal type just guarantees it at that point. Same situation. I guess he expected me to attack. He clicks protect, safe play. Good play on his part with the leech seed. That's when I started getting scared, and I thought he would switch. That's
I
why I
don't
clicked
know.
it again.
Sceptile does not get a lot of coverage. I think it might get Drain Punch though, which is kind of what you're scared
Yeah,
about.
yeah, and this is what he does start clicking here. He does start clicking Drain Punch, and as you can see, it does a lot of damage. Both my poison barbs, and then with that, it pretty much leave it at a point where like even another Drain Punch, it's not gonna get too much HP back, so I could deal with it with whatever.
The Iron Barbs kept it low for sure.
Yeah, if he had Swords Dance again, it would have been an Oko, and that would have been a scary situation.
And
I
that
do,
lack of Unburden coming into play being slower than Tornadus, meaning that Tornadus can
yeah,
threaten it.
definitely. And at this point, with the Araquanid, on paper, Araquanid went crazy into the entire team, and it's kind of unfortunate that I didn't really get to go crazy with the Araquanid into the team. But at the same time, it was also fine. It got to do its role. It got to take hits. It got to do damage, get webs up. Masquerade does come out, which unfortunately will get rid of my webs, but it also gets rid of the rocks. I do get some chip off just in case it is Focus Sash. I definitely expected the Valkyrie coming out. Oh wait, no, he doesn't even get to. Never
No,
mind.
he's slower.
And having the web up for me also works out because now Sharpedo is definitely not going to be able to get speed boost as
It
much. It
needs
has to
two
wait per
turns of
turn.
not megaing, but it does get the two turns to finally get the +1 boost, considering there's the switch and then the protect. So
Yeah, the waterfall does come out. I click Hurricane, do that damage. I bring back out the Tauros. This was more so of a sack in my mind because I needed to just be weaker. So that's where the Intimidate was important. So I let the Tauros go down here. So hands can go crazy because I think he expects it. So I click Swords Dance, and then he clicks Waterfall. And to guarantee that I just keep living and, not have to worry about crits, I get off that Iron Defense, and then I just kind of go crazy with hands. I click Drain Punch, get a little bit of that HP back.
you would still have to worry about crits. They go through defense buffs.
Well, I wasn't thinking that at the time. But yeah, from this position, it was very much so an Iron Hands cleanup, which I was very, very happy about. Me and him were talking the whole time during our battle because why not? We've known each other forever, and it was a lot of friendly banter. Uh, I do believe there was a moment where I was freaking out with Terrafort in front of Sharpedo because I thought Sharpedo got Fire Fang. So I literally sat there and screamed, "Wait a second, does this thing get Fire Fang?" And he was messing with me. He was like, "I don't know, does it?" And I'm like, "Oh!" So I had to go and I had to look it up and make sure it didn't get Fire Fang, and I was freaking out, and thankfully it doesn't. I feel like if it did, that'd be crazy though. Just saying. Game Freak, give it Fire Fang. Anyway, moving on.
Cool. Oh,
Next
my
up.
battle.
Yep, you gotta talk about this one.
Yeah.
Got
So it's me versus Pigeon. We have been talking about this one. We were both excited because it's just Weather Wars. Excited to see Sun versus Rain. I brought my Archaludon and Swampert as Rain abusers. And then I brought, just for coverage, an Amorous Scizor and Quillfish. I really liked how Quillfish did last week, so I thought I'd just try it again. He brought Torkoal and two dinos. Uh, doesn't have
which
Raging
was a
Bolt, but
trade.
he's got fake Raging Bolt. He's got Jolteon, Superior,
Yep.
which I hate, and Azelf.
If we go off lore, he has a Raging Bolt when Raging Bolt evolved into a Jolteon over time and then got reincarnated as a Raikou by Ho-Oh.
True.
So he technically has all three of them.
So I led with Enamorous into Azelf. I was actually pretty happy with this lead because I figured he was gonna like get a Brox or something, so I could just start threatening things. Um, Fortunately, he brought the Thunder, which is kind of crazy because he's got a Sunsetter. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like if he thought I was gonna lead Pelipper, but like the Thunder play was definitely not something I was expecting. Drops me
Thunder
down
was
to
big.
4. Don't get the drop. So, but I did big damage. I forget what my set was. I forget if I was specs or not. I think I just wanted to try specs out. No, I was boots. So if I was specs, I would have killed. But the boots I was actually happy with because now if he gets up rocks, I'm not quite so scared. Kind of panicked with the thunder here. I figured he would click it again, which I'm realizing now was kind of dumb. So I brought out Swampert, and he had the other coverage Energy Ball. So
Yeah,
overall, bad first two turns for me, but
that
it's
was a
okay.
rough turn two, a very rough turn two. And then just listen to the chat making fun of him because he forgot to nickname his Pokemon.
I
You use this opportunity to do get up the spikes though, which is
do get
very
up the
big.
spikes. It's not really so big. Um, yeah, I don't know. I played this probably too passively with my Quillfish. I knew he had Rapid Spin here, and I kind of let him get it in for free. So, yeah, and then he gets the Will-O-Wisp off. I didn't want to bring in my Pelipper. I
Very
probably should
unfortunate.
have, but I didn't want to because I didn't want it to take a lot of damage and stuff. So
No, that's entirely fair. I understand that in
I
thinking.
still should have because he had his Torkoal out, so like I could have gotten more rain turns and stuff. Um,
He does double here into the wake. We do see some more switching around. Weather Ball does come off.
I didn't look at speed tiers before this battle, which definitely came into play versus like the Walking Wake because I didn't realize I was like 6 points slower on the Enamorous. I was hoping it was just going to be faster. Um,
Yeah.
Always look at your speed tiers and stuff. So
Now, right here is a really interesting thing. I was helping Pigeon with practicing. He had asked me to help him out. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So, before this match, he was running Quick Feet Jolteon, which if he was running Quick Feet Jolteon, you would just click Electro Shot 3 times into him once you realize that Electro Shot can go through and
once I
hit the
saw it was
Jolteon.
quick feet. I mean, yes, but I
Yeah,
he had never brought it out. Like knowing both of our teams, I don't know how important that would have been. It might have been better just for the speed tiers, just because it's like even if I start clicking that, I'm afraid of it until I see he's quick feet. So if he had like the burn orb and he had brought it out earlier, maybe I would have. But even so, I don't know. Like it
I mean,
definitely
I
forced me
get
to click
definitely.
Draco.
It
The
definitely
Volt
forced you to
Absorb
click
is
Draco,
also
and
good because then again, either way, the point of having Jolteon is just to dissuade me from pressing uh,
yeah, it dissuades you from
Electroshock, which
clicking
it
Electro
does.
Shot.
So now I can click it, but like I'm scared of the
Originally,
Dracos here, so
originally in scrims, he was switching it out into an Electro Shot without the Volt Absorb, and it was insane.
just
You see
keep
Draco
clicking
come off,
Draco. Yep,
you
just trying to. I mean, it makes sense, and then he just brings
just
in the
nuke.
wake safely, and then yep,
Yeah,
even
safe right.
even AV. So
Were you max special defense in AV or just AV?
no, of course not.
You should get that a go one day.
Nah.
That's some Googie advice.
You run
Just
either defense or special attack on Archelodon.
we do get a confusion here, which I always find fun when confusions happen. And I don't think a single confusion has caused anyone to hit themselves so far in this
I mean,
league.
that was my only out.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did do a lot of damage. You do get the CC here. Poison does take out Torkoal. And then we just see Gouging Head come out. Bull Punch does come out. Flare Blitz does come out. That's
Overall,
all she wrote.
Pigeon prepared better than me, and yeah, I just didn't. I didn't put much thought into my team this week, and I probably should have. So it's okay. Um, yeah, good
Well, you have
work
a
from
chance to
Pigeon. He
redeem.
did great.
You have a chance to redeem yourself because you're fighting another Sun team this week.
True.
All right, next up we have Yossi versus David. Very good teams. We've seen Yossi's team. It's very obvious what mods are going to be coming most weeks for Yossi's team. David, I think this is his first time bringing the shift tree.
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
I
I
mean,
could
it
be
could
wrong.
make sense as like a because it gets chlorophyll, so it's a sun
Yeah,
counter.
yeah, and Executor of Harvest as well. I mean,
I think
in
it's
the sun.
slower than like a Jumpluff and a Lee Vanny.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely. But
maybe not quite so good a counter, but at the very least, it is. I mean,
it is a
with
Terra
Wind
guy.
Rider, true, and with Wind Rider, it can start eating hits.
Yeah, Tailwind, Wind Rider. Oh my God, that's something I've been wanting to mess around with, and I just haven't had the opportunity to. Them giving Shift Tree, Wind Rider, and Empoleon in competitive was insane, and I was very hopeful that other mons would get ability changes and buffs, but nope. I'm still salty about Meganium not getting anything good. So anyway, we got the
Zapdos.
Ninetales lead into Zapdos.
The Ninetales makes sense just to get up Sun. Oh, also, I guess another Sun abuser on David's side, the Executor, which is really funny because Harvest procs every turn that they're Sun up.
That's what
So,
I said.
oh, I didn't hear you say that. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I forgive you.
Uh,
It happens. We're tired.
let's see. The
We work
Ninetales
nine to
lead makes
five, people.
sense. And Zapdos, I mean, I think it gets like rocks or something. Like it can kind of set up some. It was an interesting lead.
Definitely an
Um,
interesting lead, and the
It
thing with
does do
Zapdos too
well
is,
into pretty much the entire team except for Mimikyu. So I
yeah,
definitely
you click,
understand.
yeah, you click Brave Bird, you click CC, you click anything. We do see the Weather Ball come out, very big damage. Brave Bird does come out, like we said, and it just does so much. Lives on the one, which is crazy. Very lucky there. Then we
Sax
do
the
see
Sun was
the,
interesting. The extras are
yeah,
there. Um, I mean, I guess the Shiftry or the Executor coming out makes some sense.
yeah, good read
And
on the
just
Exazor.
kills Zapdos.
Very good read with the Exazor there. We do see Terra Steel come out.
Doesn't get into berry range, unfortunately.
Doesn't he does click Synthesis, which is big because you're healing so much
And
in the
is
sun. We do
healing
see the
more in the
substitute
sun. He really bought a counter Sun team, which I think is really funny.
is very funny. Dragon Pulse does come out this half to Moopy. We do see the Headlong come out. It's super effective now. We do see it. The Great Tusk does go down here, and then we see Mimikyu. Free Swords Dance, obviously. You get the disguise. We do see Substitute, which was crazy. I would have just went for an attack there to break it, but I'm sure whatever David was thinking at the
Story
time.
Power was interesting. Where's he? Oh, right. Yes. This was a crazy set. I understand what he was going for, but this
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
this is an
We
insane set. It's
yeah.
really funny. I kind of love it. I
Now, the thing is, this is not a clear body Dragapult, which if it was, this would change the match entirely, but it was not.
don't think it
And we
would
do see
have.
that Mimic.
It had Shadow Sneak.
Oh, well, I'm stupid then. Never mind. Anyway, regardless, Mimikyu goes crazy for the rest of this match, as we see here. It just clicks one move, and everything in front of it is getting
Yeah,
nuked.
I mean this
Mimic-
Mimikyu has good good matchups into everything.
yeah, Mimikyu with Life Orb, it getting that Sword Dance up.
He just kind
It
of didn't bring a Mimikyu answer, I guess. Looking at his team, like I guess it was Xurkitree or Terra Steel Executor, but that extra turn of disguise, I mean, sometimes that's all you need. Like Mimikyu is so crazy because you just get a free turn with it. Like that used to matter more in like Gen 7, I guess, because I think it got nerfed base stat wise, but like man, it's if you get that free turn and that sword stance off, it can hit hard.
did it get nerf based stat wise?
I think
I
so.
thought
I
it.
don't remember off the
I
top
thought
of my head.
I thought the only nerf was to disguise as the ability.
Oh, maybe
I could
that's what
check.
it was.
I could check right now if you don't mind me waiting like 2 seconds. It doesn't seem like no, it doesn't seem like it got any changes besides the disguise
I guess
change.
maybe it was just the disguise nerf, but
Yeah, I mean, which is big because it is taking damage now. That damage can make a difference. It can make or break. But yeah, very good battle for Yossi, continuing to be undefeated in the league. All right, next up we have Damocles versus Papcoon. For those who have been following along, I hope I'm saying your name right. Please correct me if I am wrong. Uh, Demo is coming in for Decoats. We had made the decision as mods to find someone to fill his spot while he's going through his family stuff, and we hope to see him again soon. But Demo will be taking his place for the remainder of the season. And they did do some team changes, a lot of team changes. We do see the Meow. Uh, Meow and Iron Moth, I believe, were the only mons he
I think
kept.
so.
and then everything else was a change. The Glade is Mega, Iron Shreds was picked up, you dropped it, Rotom Wash, Screamtail, the Dunsparce, and a few other mods we'll probably see throughout these next few weeks and battles. But team-wise, very, very interesting, very good teams into each other. Marowak is always fun to mess around with, especially since it gets Lightning Rod, stuff like that. And I do believe it'll own Marowak at Cantera, so
Does it get a pivot move?
I don't think it do.
I don't know that Toadscroll does either. No
Toadscroll,
pivots. Mr. Pivot Man didn't brought two mons without pivots, as far as I know. It might get U-turn or something. I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't know off the top of my head either, but we'll get into this. Meowscarada into the Lopunny.
Lopunny
I
Mega,
mean,
of course. It's never
yeah,
gonna
Lopunny, Mega
not.
Lopunny.
It's not one of those mons that you're ever trying to not Terra with it. So I mean Mega. Getting the Mega off early is good, and it's just a good matchup into this. You can fake out first just to get some damage.
Yeah,
I mean, if something has a Rocky Helmet, you pretty much find out now. Um, with
100%.
the fake out, and if this thing isn't Scarf, then you get a CC into it afterwards if he doesn't switch. So I like it a lot. The fake
Yeah, we do
out,
see the Mega, we do see
the
the
Scream
Fake Out.
Tail, and we see the Rocky Helmet.
Yeah,
Knowing
Rocky
that, I
Helmet.
don't know that the U turn is the play because you are faster. So
Yeah,
the U turn, I
definitely.
mean, it definitely hit the Scream Tail, but then you're also taking a lot of chip, and it does get Drain Punch, but I don't know. I think you usually run close combat instead of Drain Punch, so you don't
Yeah,
have a great way of
I
getting health back.
yeah. We do see Thunder Wave go off into the Lightning Rod, which we do see. Shadowbone does come off. Obviously, the Dunsparce immune. We do see Lopunny come back out. Roost fails, probably expecting an attack. We do see another Fake Out.
No Rocky Helmet on the Dunsparce though.
Yeah, we do see CC come out. Not enough to kill it, but it does do a lot.
Does do a
Boomburst
lot.
does come out and kill. We do see the Latios come out. Surf, interesting move in Surf. I'm not really sure. I guess it hits
I guess
treads.
it hits treads, but I don't know that I would have. I mean, it's who's he in front of? He was in front of a Dunsparce. Um, I mean, I guess I like it because most likely other moves are like Aura Sphere, Draco Meteor, maybe a Psychic move. So that probably does cover for Screamtail the best of any move that he has in front of him. So
That's true too,
honestly, I'm
especially
not
if
going
he
to
clicks.
complain.
Yeah, especially if the Psychic move does come out and he sends out Meow, then it's they just get no damage. We do see Flip Turn here, obviously just to
Once
get out.
again, flip turn into the Rocky Helmet.
Yeah, a Heart Switch probably would have been better there. We do see EQ come out from the Marowak. Wish is going crazy here. We do see D-Gleam. At this point, it's just a little war of attrition. Shadowbone
Shadowbone
does
comes
do
out and does 58. You know the Protect's coming out. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any way to take advantage of those extra Protect turns other than switching.
yeah, definitely. I think maybe a Sword Dance would have went crazy. Because I'm sure it gets a setup move, right?
Probably. I think
Masters.
it
It's a
does. I
Marowak.
think it gets Sword Stance.
Yeah, Shadowbone falling short of the kill here. Another Protect does come out, but we do see at this point that the Wish Healing is cannot outpace the Shadowbone damage.
Fortune cooks Earthquake there. I think I understand. Because, like, he's trying to cover for the Dunsparce as well. It's hard to not click something like Earthquake there.
Yeah, we do see Trick come out from the Rotom, pretty standard. He's trade away a
It's
Thick Club.
big, gets rid of a lot of damage from Marowak.
Yeah, we do see Toadscruel does get burned here.
Like the Giga Drain.
Big Giga. And then we see another switch, Thick Club for AV, which is good because now the Rotom can't trick anymore.
Uh, I mean, yes, but he got two Pokemon lost their items. What's
Yeah, two Pokemon
interesting
did lose
is
their
this
items.
this Rotom started off without an item. That's one thing I noticed is that usually
Oh,
like you
really?
almost want
Didn't
to
have
trade
an
something.
item?
No, look at Marowak. None.
Oh,
Lost
wow.
Thick
I
Club.
didn't
Yeah.
notice that.
So
That's
he
interesting.
literally was just giving it no item, which is interesting. I would have expected a negative item or some way to do that, but I mean it makes sense. So
Like a Black Sludge or something. Something funny. Do you see Giga Drain come out here? Not enough to take out the Scream Tail. This thing's very bulky. On that special defensive side, we do see protect, obviously.
Yep, just gonna heal up past this thing. So no matter what, this burn, this thing does very well into Tex's whole team there, into Pap's whole
Yeah.
team. Didn't bring a good wall breaker for Screamtail, unfortunately.
Yeah, we do see agility come out from the Mega Glade, which is pretty insane if you ask me.
I guess it was Marowak. I'm wrong. Marowak was, but yeah, unfortunately ends up beating Marowak, which is crazy. The earthquake here on Gallade,
Yeah, the Earthquake was interesting for
triple
play.
axle. I mean,
Yeah,
ground ice coverage. We see ground ice coverage do a lot. So
yeah, it just has coverage for everything at this point, and it did its job good. That agility getting off was big because it we see from right here, it just kind of pops off and it deals with everything on the rest of Papcoom's team. Very strong start for Damo here
cool.
with a 5-0 win. So yeah, that was our matchups. We did not have a match this week, which it happens. That's life. But let's get into week. Let's if you want to go into the schedule tab. We can talk about our week 5 matchups real quick and see what's going on there. I still have to update the document. I'm too tired now. I'll do that later.
It's okay.
All right, week
You'll get
5.
done.
We got Deadlocked versus Pigeon. Deadlocked is still going for that winning streak. I'm sure of it. Uh, Pigeon would definitely like a win here. Very very interesting teams in the one another. It's hard to say who has the advantage over the other. I think both teams are pretty rounded and pretty solid. I'm just getting the document up so I can see as well. So I can look at the teams while I'm talking. Excuse me. But I could definitely see some interesting plays coming from both of them. Maybe we'll see Shedinja put in some work. I believe that's the only Pokemon Deadlocked hasn't brought yet to any fight. And for Pigeon, I would like to see. I'd probably like to see the Jolteon kind of do some stuff. I feel like the Jolteon has been doing things, but not too much. I can also see Staraptor popping off here. Staraptor is just one of those mons that's just insane. You put it on Choice Band, you give it Reckless, it goes crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Outside of that, pretty 50-50, in my opinion. It could go either way. Next up, we have Nomad versus Ninblocks. Uh, again, I feel like this match could go either way. I think Nomad having the one mon advantage and the just the total number of mons that his team has kind of puts him at a little bit of advantage because he can mix and match. He did do some trades, so he has now he has Tapu Fini, which take good care of that Nomad. It did some things for my team. Hisuian Gudra and Hisuian Electrode now. Hisuian Electrode being a Terra captain with Electric Ice Fairy, so standard electric type of Terra options. Those new mons do kind of go crazy into Nimblox's team, especially the Hisuian Electrode. If you give it Terra Ice, it hits about everything. The only thing I don't really see it hitting all that great is, never mind, actually, I'm a dirty liar. It hits everything fine. Maybe the only thing that could become an issue is maybe a Blaziken with a speed boost. Outside of that, same thing as before, 50-50. It could really go either way. I think I'm just going to say all the matches are going to go 50-50 at this point. Now, you fought a some team, PG. You ready to fight another one?
Yep.
How you feeling about this?
I
Let's
got a
hear you
lot of
talk.
rain last turn, or last battle, so I'm gonna get a lot of rain turns again, and it's gonna matter more because this time I know she's got a lot of grass types.
Definitely. You gonna bring that Terrifier Flygon? The Terrifier Flygon looks kind of crazy, especially if you can't win Weather War. You get that Sun Up.
I'll always win Weather War.
He'll always win Weather War. That's what you love to hear. But yeah,
That's the easy part of the game. The hard
these
part is
weather
all the
bat
other clicks.
true. I love watching these weather battles because it's always like fun to see. Because sometimes it doesn't come down to like who has the weather up the longest. Sometimes it just comes down to like who just
I
whose
mean, there's
team is
more to
harder to break.
positioning than weather. It's just like
Yeah,
setting up field conditions is especially important in these. So it's a good thing to know how to do. And I got a lot of practice with it when I was using a rain team in laddering a while back. So a lot of that has stayed with me, and just positioning my Pelipper um, is something I feel like I've learned how to do pretty well. It's just learning how to use the rest of my team and
for
actually
sure.
building the team I need to bring rather than just bringing random stuff.
Yeah, team building is always the trickiest part. It's always hard to team build. So I'm with you there. And it's also, getting used to your team as well. It usually takes a while. I mean, you've seen me in 2 leagues now struggle with my teams, and then I just pop off once I get used to them.
Yep.
But all right, next up we got Papcoon and Gemio. Uh, oh yeah, by the way, you and Yossi, I think I'm gonna give that a nice hear me out here. It's a bit controversial. I think I'm gonna give it a nice 50-50.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So next up we have Papcoon and Gemio. Both solid teams. I think the Mega Absol. I want to see Petrarun come. I really do. I don't think he's bought Petrarun at all yet. And that's one of those mods that where it's like it has that crazy defense stat. It has 88 and everything else, but that defense stat is crazy. And it could just be very annoying with parting shot, toxic, recover, just a mess of moves that thing gets. I'm I very much so want to see this thing go wild. And I think it can. I wonder if Papcoon sees that maybe it could go wild in this. I know it gets kind of walled. I know it gets walled by let's see, one, two, 3, 4, like 4 of Jimmy Mons, but who knows? I don't know what Papcoon's thinking. Outside of that, Jimmy does have Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan does kind of go crazy. It does get Mach Punch, I believe, and that could deal with the Mega Lopunny. It could deal with the Empoleon, the Incineroar, the Porygon 2. There's a lot of potential here. I think I'm gonna have to give this a 50-50. What do you think, PG?
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, 50-50? 50-50 fair? 50-50 fair. All right. Next up, we have me, Machete Magoo versus Damocles. Very scary matchup. I was nervous before we had to get the fill in. I'm still nervous. I am cooking as best as I can. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. What happened?
I don't know. Did I get disconnected for a second?
Did.
Oh, my Discord crashed. I guess. I don't know.
Oh no.
That was weird. I'm back now. Keep
Is the,
talking.
rec- is the recording okay at least?
My computer's fine. It was just Discord, so you're still
Oh,
live. We're still
uh,
live.
okay. We're still going. Okay. Moral of the story: I give me and Damocles 50-50.
Sure.
I'm giving everyone a 50-50 tonight. All right. Following that, we have Raxus versus Grovyle. Uh,
I want to see
both of them
Mighty
have.
Anna do some more work. It's
I,
Mighty
I want
Anna
to see.
time.
I want to see Lapras do some work. I want to see Hisui and Sliggoo do
Same.
some work.
Oh, let's go. Scale shot Lapras gonna go brazy inside
I want
terrain.
I want to see that Sandy Shocks do some work. I want to see. I just like seeing everyone like bring their different mons that they have and seeing if they can make them work. And on paper, some of these mons go absolutely crazy. Which one mon that Raxus has, and they have not bought at all. It was their first pick, Melmetal. We have not seen that mon come to any matchup,
True, actually.
and I think this upcoming matchup might be one of those ones where it might have to come because that pure steel typing does pretty good into a few of the mons here, and the only real mon that could deal with it is Cinderace. But Melmetal's a physically defensive mon, and Cinderace is a physical attacker. In fact, actually, Yeah, Melmetal kind of goes crazy in the Grovile's team. But at that same time, Grovile's collective team goes crazy in the Raxus's team. I think both teams are pretty even in that regard because of that. Melmetal might go crazy in the Grovile's team, but Grovile's whole team can, on paper, go crazy in the Raxus's team. And for that, I'm gonna have to give this match a 50-50.
This is my favorite. This is the match I'm looking forward to this week. David versus Eon. Both have
This
shown some very strong showings these last couple weeks. Not even bringing some of the scary things. So I'm excited to see what
sure.
they make against each other and what to bring. This is going to be my highlight
Yeah, this is
for
definitely going
sure.
to be a match to watch. I do believe the only Pokemon David hasn't brought yet has been the Mega Scissor. I think everything else has been bought. On Eon's team, I do believe Eon has bought everything at this point, besides his new pickup, that being Drifblim. He did drop the Promo Pass and the Muck for Terra Driftblim with Ghostfire and Fairy.
I'm excited to see what they come up with against each other.
I'm very excited too. I'm excited to see how all these battles unfold. And I think for Eon versus David, hear me out here. I know I've been saying I'm doing 50-50s all night. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna root for the guy who 6-0'd me by going 50-50. I have to fight Eon too down the line. He's gonna 6-0 me as well. So, but yeah, I think everyone has a shot to win. It's I'm at that point in my tiredness where I'm just yapping. But quite frankly, I think we're gonna have some interesting fights, some good fights, hopefully some exciting ones. It's always fun to watch them, so they're always exciting. So even if it's like 10 turns, it's still exciting to watch. We get to see how coaches play, how they bring their mons, how they use their mons, and it's always those mons that you never expect that go absolutely insane. We saw that case in point with Mimikyu. We saw that with Iron Hands. It's always the mons that you least expect that go wild.
Yep.
What do you,
And that's where we're going to end it today. So
I
thank you
think
all
that's
for
where we'll
joining
end it.
us.
Thank you
We're
for
going to do
bearing with
week
us while we're
six,
sleepy.
or yeah, we'll do week five replays next. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys
Same as
then.
before. Week 5, week 6 pick'ems after that as well.
Subscribe, smash
Do
that
do
like
do
button.
do 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 do.
I don't know.
Subscribe.
What else do people say? Subscribe to my non existent Patreon.
Subscribe. Smash that like button and hit the bell icon to always get notified when we upload again. We got you got us for at least what? Like 8 more weeks or something like that. 7, 6 more weeks. I
Yeah,
don't know.
playoffs and everything. Yep. So we got
Playoffs and
some.
everything.
We're not going anywhere. And nobody's going
We
to
are
make us
not
go anywhere. Nobody can force us out. That's
unless
the
they
end of
ban
the.
us off YouTube.
This is the end. 3, 2, 1. We're